Alright, so what's up, guys? Thanks so much for watching Pursuit of Healthiness, where it is my mission to help the world battle obesity and chronic disease through health and well-being. And it all starts with you, the individual, getting yourself healthy, spreading the health and the love to your friends, your family, and your community. So today we've got a special guest. His name is Rimvydas
Sunelitis, yes.
Sunelitis,
Hey, guys.
almost. He was a former fellow personal trainer that I worked with at True Fit Gym, and he's just super passionate about what he does, and you can tell it in the way he walks, the way he talks, and the way he goes about living his life. So, thanks so much for being on, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that nice introduction, for sure.
Yes, sir. So just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started on your journey.
A little bit about myself. Originally, I'm from Europe, Lithuania. Moved here when I was 14. The journey, how I started exercise science is funny because I went everywhere. Literally, I started out with automotive technology, got a degree in that. I was like, because I did not know what I wanted to do. So I got a degree into that, and then I was like, I don't really like this. But I did like the process of how to put things together. Like, if this part is messed up, you change it, the car works again.
Okay.
I like that process. I like that logical application to the car. But really dislike the sort of grunt work.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I did not really like my nails being dirty all the time, and that's not that's literally how I felt. And I felt good with understanding that about myself, and I did not judge myself for that. So, and while I was doing the automotive technology the entire time, I always, every day I worked out. I would go into the gym, and then I would just put that stress into the gym, and then I was like, wait, you can get paid training people?
Yeah, man.
I found
Big
that out.
business.
Yeah, exactly. Make business, and then I found that out. I found it out a year before I knew that I needed to finish my degree. So I was like, fuck, I'm a year away. So I finished up the degree in automotive, and then I moved into exercise science, and then from then on, I met great people, great coaches, great teachers to help me out in aligning my body, because the entire time that I trained on my own, which was like a good 5 years, I imbalanced myself a lot. I just lifted what everybody would lift, however everybody lifted. I would talk to the biggest dude in the gym, and he's like, yeah, do this. Okay, good. Let's do this. And I did see results. I did see a lot improvement, but when I hit the wall, I was like, what the fuck do I do? And literally, that's literally what I said to myself. Like, what do I do? There is no... I'm bored of gym, but I know I love it. It's awesome to train. I like it, but it's the same stuff. I'm over and over doing the same things, and it's really boring. Yeah, and exercise science, that's what kind of pushed that over in a positive way of where I could see my future in a way of what I wanted to do in 10 years, 15, 20, 50 years from now. And most of all, it did not feel like it's work. Which
Exactly. That's important.
Yeah.
Being happy with what you do.
Exactly. Like, literally, I work sometimes 8 hours and do not fucking feel it. Like, I laugh the entire fucking 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I do cuss because I really feel that way. Like, in my opinion, cuss words are not vulgar in a way, but it just really expresses how I feel about the situation, and really I'm excited about that.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't cuss a whole lot myself. I think that's part of, just how I grew up with my parents never cussed or anything, and they kind of pushed me toward not cussing, saying anything derogatory. And so if I do cuss, it just doesn't feel that good in my body, I guess. But so I'll talk a little bit more about the why behind what got you to start working out and getting healthy in the first place.
Why?
Did you just want to get big at first, kind of look good, or was it something else that drove you?
It was in high school, and really it came from depression. When I moved here when I was 14, it was a new country, literally across the ocean.
Yeah.
New culture, new people. I grew up in a city when I was young, so the culture is a lot different.
Did you come here to this
Yeah.
Pinehurst?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I came right in here, for literally 3 years I had a huge depression, and I did not really felt like not like living, but it was just not. It was just moving through motions, and
Really enjoying it.
yeah, it was always. I would always find myself living in the past. I would always, literally, 10 hours a day. I would just be thinking of what happened back in Europe, what I did back then, not actually what I did in the moment. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then once I started working out, it got me into the moment, into the like it's right here, like the weight is right above me.
Yeah.
Like I fuck up, I die, like literally.
Yeah.
It slips out of my hand, crushes my throat, I'm dead. And
there's that rush of energy and endorphins and all that body chemistry going on.
yes, for sure. So that was like the good bringing me back into the state. Also, I started. That was my senior year that I just started coming out of the depression. That's when I started doing track and playing soccer and so forth.
Finding meaning.
Yeah, starting to find some people that I liked and I could spend time with, and I thought they liked me too. It was good good progression from that spot, which is actually that's who introduced me into the gym. Those people that I spent time with and my senior year.
Awesome.
Yeah, lovely.
A little bit chilly today, but 45 degrees, something like that.
No, it's definitely
But,
40.
Yeah, with the wind chill. But I'm sure a lot of people can relate, kind of being in a depressed state or just finding that they don't have that much meaning in their lives or not enjoying that much. I know doctors actually prescribing exercise for depression now just because, like you said, kind of gets you into that moment and really, just switches up that body chemistry to where those positive endorphins are going through and you just feel good and gets you to a place where you can enjoy life more.
100%. That's one part I feel like I missed. When I was in Europe, I used to play a lot of sports. Came here, none of that. And then coming back into the gym, releasing that adrenaline, endorphins, all of that rushed me, made it good, made it happy, made me happy in the moment. And then when I was not in it, I was like, oh shit. So I kind of got it gifted to the gym.
Yeah.
Early on.
There are worse addictions you can get into, I guess. But I remember my experience just getting started, going to the gym and stuff. I had a personal trainer, and back then I didn't have that much meaning in my life, and I was probably in a pretty depressed state myself, even though I wouldn't have really known it back then. But I started working out with a trainer a couple times a week. This was when I was in college, my freshman year. And we got into a routine, and then exam week came up, and I couldn't work out that week. So I noticed throughout the week I started feeling worse and worse. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, man, I haven't hit the gym. I haven't moved my body or done anything. And that's kind of when the light bulb went off in my head. Like, man, this health, this exercise really makes me feel good, and just gives me more enjoyment and satisfaction in my life. And from that moment when I started training and getting into health and fitness, I totally turned my life like completely around. Like, I was in school to be an engineer just because I guess I was just pretty much chasing the money. Once I started working out, it kind of helped give me a different perspective on life.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like kind of what happened to you as well.
Yeah, for me, yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I couldn't agree with that more, man. It does, especially I bet since you started finding out about holistic training, how to train the best. That in itself is huge, I think.
Integrating the mind, the body, and your emotions and your spirituality into as a whole. So I was gonna talk to you about that. I know you went through holistic life coaching level 1 through the Check Institute, which is awesome resource for you guys if you want to check it out. I just wanted you to talk about that a little bit and kind of some key things we took from that.
Lots of key points. And again, go ahead.
Also, kind of explain, I guess, in more detail about what holistic health is.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I am the person to ask who holistic thing is, but I guess I could explain it the best way Paul Chek explained it. Mm-hmm. And it's the way it made sense to me, I should say. He said, if you get 12 enlightened people, but those 12 people are all different zodiac signs, mm-hmm. So different personalities per se, mm-hmm. But they're all enlightened in a circle, and you ask them about one question, and they all will give you 12 different answers. Mm-hmm. And from taking all those 12 different answers and coming with a sort of a way of doing something about that question, that would be the holistic approach to something. And again, it's very vague answer because I don't have the specificness of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, that would be the vaguest way and the way I understood holistic that made very, very much sense to me, and that I really, really liked the approach of it. And again, enlightenment is funny in itself, mm-hmm. Because anybody can be enlightened doing anything they want to do. You don't have to go meditate in a cave for
right.
X amount of, which is totally fine if you want to. But where the world is going, you want to find that enlightenment in your daily life, where kind of everything is crumbling, but that's where you find yourself. That's where you and best of all is that where you can start helping others, mm-hmm. Because without helping others, it's kind of really sucking world, sucking life. Mm-hmm. I feel like doing some handstands, man. To warm up.
Yeah, I know, getting our bodies warmed up. Pretty chilly, but it kind of reminds me of a guy named Jay Shetty.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Jay Shetty.
Dude, Jay is cool as fucking. He did meditate it.
Yeah, he did.
A cave.
He was a monk for, 4 years, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Amazing story, and dude is doing great work right now.
Yeah, he's doing some awesome things in the world, but...
Hashtag Hey Chetty. He's awesome. Check his Instagram. Yeah. It's good shit over there.
I just started following him.
Yeah?
Like, I never really got into his work in depth until recently. I found him on YouTube and just started following his Instagram. And mm-hmm. a lot of good stuff.
I think that's another thing that kind of progressed my viewpoint on all of this holistic approach is actually following Jay Shetty, Tom Bilyeu, Paul Chek, Gary Vaynerchuk, even Joe Rogan, all of those guys. Again, I feel like those guys are fairly enlightened, fairly smart people in their, but also they're all different. In my opinion, I do not know their birthdays. I do not know their horoscopes, but they all give me say something the same, but in a different way that I can relate. Exactly, that I can relate and see.
Yeah, I think that's something really important that you know, the audience, the listeners can do is just surround themselves with people who, you know, spread positivity and give them a different perspective on life, to be happy, to be, you know, more fulfilled with their life. And even just simple things like following people on Instagram who, like Gary Vaynerchuk, Tom Bilyeu, Paul Chek, Jay Shetty, all those people who share positive messages and just help you, you know.
And there is quite a lot more individuals. Even Tim Ferriss, that guy himself is amazing dude. Aubrey Marcus, another amazing guy. Like, come on. And the best thing of all is, even if you don't have the circle around you, like the 5 people that are around you that make the difference in your life, you can create your own circle in your social life, which is amazing. Like, literally, how often do you check your phone? Like 170 times a day. That's on average individual. Every time you check, you have the positive reinforcement from those guys, which is so helpful in your subconscious development, because subconscious development is much more, like 150 times more. What's the good word of saying it?
Powerful.
It is.
It controls.
You will literally. You are your subconscious, not conscious, in a way. Your subconscious tells your habits, tells your lifestyle, tells your income, tells your health, tells your literally pretty much everything. Your conscious is the one thing that can change your subconscious. The way you do that is by literally consciously thinking of those things until it becomes unconscious. Does that make sense?
Right.
And literally, that's how you change your habits. That's how you become from 300-pound dude into a lean 185 or whatever, depending on your weight height. So yeah,
that's super good stuff, man. You know, talking about, you know, habitual daily routines and how habits, you know, really control
people that you surround yourself with,
the outcomes of your day-to-day life. So let's see. So talk a little bit more about what you learned through holistic lifestyle coaching level 1 and some things that you took away from that.
So first, how to take care of myself. Really, like, yeah, I know how to sleep, how to move, how to stay quiet, like meditate, how to be in a moment, sort of. But did I? I thought I did, and then I looked into his work, and then the holistic HLC 1 was the one that opened up my eyes to a lot of things, including food. I think more than anything, it showed me how food really affects us, and how
food is life.
oh yeah, like, you are what you eat, literally.
Yeah.
And what to look for, what to eat and what not to eat. That is very important for to recognize what does the label say, and is that label actually putting everything out there? Because that is very unlikely. Very important to understand, because even if you're killing it at the gym, you are doing the best things you can possibly do at the gym, and you are being mentally happy, you are surrounding yourself by the people, low battery, you are surrounding yourself by the people you admire and want to pursue, as in your 5 circle or your Instagram or so forth, Facebook surroundings. uh, if you are not taking care of yourself by eating the right food,
So important. So
you're just gonna literally live less.
yeah,
Like, it's hard to say that, but it
You
is
won't-
true.
you will not feel like your body's running well. So for someone that is kind of on the typical American diet of, fast food, just kind of those typical foods that you see people eat, cheeseburgers, pizza, all that stuff, for people that are trying to get healthy, so what kind of tips would you recommend to give them to start the process of eating healthier?
Good question. I would there is a lot to unravel, but I know that an individual cannot take too much. So, number one thing would be to identify what is the thing that you eat the most or drink. So, sodas usually, I find out in my clients that sodas are the one thing that usually everybody drinks. Sugar drinks. So either Red Bull, any Cokes, any sodas, any juice. Juice is not good.
You think you get juice from the store, you think you're getting, this has, oranges,
Carrot juice,
grapes.
whatever.
But the process of how they make the juice, it's literally basically just sugar water.
So identify how many times a week you are drinking those, or eating a certain food. So if you are not drinking any sodas or any sugary drinks, go right ahead and check the box how many times you're eating out. Because eating out usually is also not necessarily a good thing, unless you're like paying a lot of money for very, very good chefs that only cook with organic stuff, which is very, very rare and expensive.
Yeah, you never see, rarely see organic food being sold at any kind of restaurant.
Yeah, even the meats themselves are so depleted, so frozen and so forth, that it's just you walk out more hungry than you walk in.
Yeah, it doesn't give your body those nutrients that it needs to repair and sustain all of your organs and your tissues and all those processes that it takes to provide life inside of you.
100%. So once you identify how many times you're drinking or eating those foods a week, you want to start by halving that number. So if, let's say, you're doing it 14 times a week, you're drinking sodas 14 times a week, that's 2 a day, which is very common. Sometimes a lot of people drink 3 a day, even a 16-year-old athlete. It's very, very common for those guys to do that, to maintain their edge, to be always hyped. You want to cut that number in half, so that you would still get around 1.5 sodas a week for that first week. Second week you would cut it again in half. A third again in half. By the time you get to around 4th, 5th week, you would be drinking 3 sodas a week, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
sure.
you would
Going through the progressions.
Exactly, slow and steady wins the race, and it does few things. You're not chucking your body to be on because it's really, really hard to just cold turkey it. If you can to cold turkey it, great. Respect to you.
Some people can do that.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
one of those people.
but they're more likely to come back though. That's the sad part.
Fall off the wagon.
Yeah,
Sure.
because it's man, I didn't fuck it, I can cold turkey it at any moment that I want, so I can do it now, type of thing. And then they just get back on the road 2 months later and it's fuck, I'm back at being fat again.
Yeah.
Which is not good, not the plan, not the goal. So by cutting off by half each week, you will be able to deduct it to either one. Actually, you will find out that it starts tasting not as good, and water starts tasting really good, because usually that's what happens. People who drink a lot of soda are like, water tastes like shit, man, it's awful. But in reality, it's water is really, really delicious, but good quality water. You also don't want to just buy
So important.
random water that has been sitting on the sun for the last 2 days. You know, like that's not delicious water right there. But if you buy the good quality water, which in holistic life coach HLC1, which is a steal for $400 or $300, and it's a steal. Like you won't take more than 30 minutes a day to just go through one video or so. Within a month or two, you will be able to finish that, and you will know so much more about yourself that we could ever explain in like an hour or so video over here. But we can totally introduce you to it, which is, I hope our goal is to, in a way, to show you that there is more things to look into. And they will literally show you what waters to drink, what foods to eat, etc., etc. So yeah, that would be the greatest thing to go for. Slowly degrade yourself. Once you're fully off of it, start with the next thing. So if you know you're eating out 3 times a week, or 7 times a week, 14 times a week, like 21 times, like all 3 meals are going out, cut that in half. Play with it again, and do it only one thing at a time.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man, for sure. And just, handling one thing at a time, not trying to, do 3 things at a time and put too much on your plate, stress yourself out, and then end up failing at that, getting down about yourself and going down that road. So instead of doing that, keep it to one thing and just focus on that. And then once you finish that, like you said, go on to the next
By
thing.
the way, book recommendation, One Thing. It's a really good book. Check it out. So yeah, what else you got?
I don't know, I think we've got some awesome stuff there. Maybe one thing you talked about, organic food. I don't think a whole lot of people really know the importance of organic food and what kind of quality of nutrients that brings to them. So maybe talk a little bit about that briefly. Maybe for people who don't even know what organic is, because I know I myself didn't know what organic was until I discovered Paul Chet and opened my eyes completely. I just thought, organic's stupid, it's just more expensive,
And the reason why it's more expensive, it's very important to understand the reasoning behind it, is because those individuals do take a lot more time to actually fucking use their hands to get their nails dirty and fucking plant it and take care of it throughout the summer, that it grows naturally and nutrient rich food that provides you with a lot more first, taste satisfaction, amazing, energy, huge, also quantity, less, quite a lot less. So you don't need to eat as much quality food as if you would need to eat not quality food.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're eating organic, basically it'll give you enough nutrients to be able to eat 30% less, but get the same nutrients from that as
even
non-organic
more
food. So you end up spending the same amount of money, or maybe even less money, if you're eating organic food.
You are spending pretty much the same amount of money, but you are getting less in the quantity. But that quantity is much more rich in its nutrition value, and which gives you which you become that food specifically, which is so again, you are what you eat.
Yeah, exactly. Your body takes in the food, it assimilates the food down to its core constituents, and it literally takes it in for itself and builds your muscle tissues, your body tissues, and your organs, bones, everything in your body
Liver,
is
like
made,
all your organs. Yeah.
is made up of what you put into your body, you breathe, and you drink. So
100%. And again, best places to find these organic food. Again, there's a lot of organic labels that HLC1 goes through. It'll tell you a lot more about that than I could in a brief moment or two. But besides the organic labels, go to local farms. Farmers, support those guys, because they are the ones who are putting in the work. And if you can give them money back, dude, you're just helping the earth itself, the environment, the
Exactly.
world you live in, the
Exactly.
earth you like, the earth you stand on, the air you breathe on. It's
So that's super important. But why? So why does organic food help support the earth?
why does organic so much? First,
For someone who doesn't know what organic is.
how can I start this? In my opinion, I'm not. I love meat. Don't get me wrong, but I do not like animal cruelty. Putting thousands of cows in one little, like in this little area, thousands of cows, and right above the cows there are chickens that poop on the cows into their food, and the cows eat the food.
The environment that the animals are raised in.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
That in itself is awful. Local farmers do not have that. They have open space. That entire park right there. That's for the 2 or 3 cows to go roam around.
Yeah,
You know, like,
they roam and eat what's good for their body rather than
and they know
these
what to eat.
commercial farms, giving cows, grains, whatever it is that they feed them. You hear horror stories about the things that they feed them, like cement dust and just like sewage and just stuff that fattens them up because
Makes them look bigger, but
yeah.
so they can slaughter them and
the
get
money.
more money for the size that they are, but not the nutrient quality that they are. And we are supporting them. That's why they are doing it. That's why they continue getting money from it. So they will continue doing it until we, as humans, go find the local farmers.
Yeah, we vote with our dollars, right? So put your dollars in the hands of people that you want to see supporting the earth.
And going to local farmers and local farmer markets. Those are fun. Those you meet great people in there too. They're usually very nice. And great, much better quality than fresh markets or any other markets that you go into. Also, price are less, so you will get more for your money at the same time, which is amazing.
Good stuff, man,
Yeah.
for sure. Just the way that commercial farms are raising their crops and the fruits and vegetables and everything, they're spraying these chemical fertilizers in the soil, and it's literally slowly depleting the nutrients out of the soil, so that the crops that grow out of the soil are also devoid of nutrients, because the crops literally get their nutrients through the roots, through the soil, through the ground, and we're just, you think that eating fruits and vegetables are good, which it is, but organic versus non-organic, you're just not getting near as many nutrients out of the non-organic food, if that makes sense.
Another good thing to look at is the organic fruits or vegetables are very good. Non-organic vegetables are very plump and good looking, great looking fucking vegetables. Like tomatoes are like these big red, awesome looking things. But once you pick them up, they're like softballs.
Yeah.
They're like fucking hard as shit. They're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be like that. Organic ones would look a little bit weird, in my opinion. They would not be perfect. They would be smaller, but they would taste so much more richer. You would actually feel literally the air and the earth that they were in. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but literally once you get to a point of where you are able to express love for the food that you eat, you in turn gain their knowledge about what they experience through their growth. I know it sounds cuckoo, but literally a holistic approach, in my opinion, does view that possibility, and if it works for you, great, go with it, because it does work for me, and I do enjoy eating food a lot more that way.
Yeah, same for me as well. And you said it sounds crazy, but don't push something out of your head until you try it for yourself. So experiment with yourself. Go try some organic food and try eating that for a little while and see the difference between the way it makes you feel, the way it tastes, and just the way you start thinking.
And again, when buying, I know it's hard to just fucking stop buying everything from what you used to, because again, change one thing at a time. Start coming off of sodas. Once you finish coming off of sodas, if you're like, I don't know, I don't want to yet go into this, drop in my everyday out meals. Start buying extra organic food. So just go into a fresh market or into your regular into your farmers market or something like that. Go to Indian different culture foods like Mexican foods, Indian foods, Asian foods, Brazilian foods. Just experiment with whole different kinds of foods, because that's what HLC1 speaks about a lot, is experimenting with as many different food sources as possible, because the reason why he found Dowd did a study and they found out that I forgot the study, sorry I couldn't quote that, but that most individuals know 10 foods that they only surround themselves by those 10 foods. So if you just want to
get out of your comfort zone,
and not just get out of the comfort zone, but say that if this is right for you, look at your food list. Is it the same 10 foods that you always eat, like 15 foods that you always eat? If so, literally you are of those foods, nothing else. Mm-hmm. By you experimenting with something different, you will automatically enlarge your taste buds. You will enlarge your satisfaction for food. Which
really,
is amazing.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, which is amazing. And your cultural understanding about the world is also gonna enlarge, which is amazing, which is a great time to do so. Never in our history before we could do that. If you were born in North, you would stay in North. There's winters, like that's it.
Dude from the North, and that's it. But,
yeah.
Dude, this has been awesome. We've gone through so much stuff. Not only for just the person that's just starting their journey into health and wellness, but also for a seasoned professional that even like myself that thinks they know what they're doing, but then they start getting to other things and they learn so much more. So thanks so much for your time, man. So much good stuff.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much
lovely.
for
Good work.
for being out here in this cold weather.
Lovely.
And hope the best for you.
Dude, hope the best for you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Most luck with your newborn.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Dude, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
New life.
For sure. And I'm sure we'll have you on here again sometime.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, guys.